कश्मीर हिमाचल राजस्थान पंजाब हरियाणा दिल्ली यूपी उत्तराखंड बिहार गुजरात द्राविड़ तमिल महाराष्ट्र तेलंगाना कर्नाटक आंध्र केरला वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल तावी यमुना गंगा सरस्वती कृष्णा ब्रह्मपुत्रा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जयो गाथा सर्वधर्म नागरिक भारत विधाता जनगण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत संविधान भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जयो 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 हे जय भारत वंदे मातरम सुजलम सुफलम मलया शीतलम साशिया श्यामलम मातरम वंदे मातरम। जय भारत जय संविधान। Dear friends, this is Suraj Singh. As usual, reference only. And talk of construction, talk of field, old book, just for information. And now, this is 28th of February 2020, one more day of this leap year 2020, tomorrow 29th February. And our profession of construction, design, engineering, professional engineering, field engineering, every day is another day and every day another talk. I am trying to continue this talk of field engineering and talk of certain constitutional issues in this country. This is confined to this talk is confined to engineering, but I'll talk of nation also in some other day, on some other day, and various other issues. I have already talked of safety, health, and environment, and on this video text I have put certain URLs for reference to you people, because safety, health, and environment, along with ergonomics, do constitute and to comprise part of field engineering along with quality, and my talk about quality is also included, because quality is a very significant part of field engineering. And I had talked about NXSL of IS 9000 9001 2015. Yes, in last video yesterday I talked of that. I explained to you about that standard form of NXSL IS 9001 2015 stands requirement, and I'll take up certain general requirements today. But before that, just rewinding, recalling what we are talking of in engineering, field engineering, construction engineering, building engineering, plants engineering, in general, development of nation. Because engineering means development of nation. It's not civil engineering discipline alone. Many interactive disciplines are responsible for development of nation, development of cities all over the world. Civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, architectural engineering, and allied support engineering like IT, like computers, like security, and many more. We all are in same world, but basics, physical construction, Physical transformation from a forest to a city requires basic sciences and basic engineering, and those engineering can be named as civil, electrical, mechanical, architecture alike. There is no difference as far as services to buildings and construction of buildings, roads, infrastructure facilities, sewer line, water line, you can say bridges, railways, airports, and all essential services do come under purview and ambit of construction design. It's very common, and if construction designs are involved, designs and construction are involved, means must be safety and quality involvement within that domain. Otherwise, these buildings, these structures may not function, may not give you required service, and you cannot stay in a building which is very dangerous. You think that it will collapse any time. Impossible to live in that building. So building should be worry free, so it should be secured, and not only building, all structures. Means when I say building, means build up work, means it is all structures we are like this. The problem is sometimes it is very difficult to classify or categorize what we are. Sometimes it's also difficult to understand who is required where, right man for right job. It's not happening. Management principle says there should be right person for right job. We have to take that first point into consideration. Does it happen? Does right man works for right job, or just they work for job? If right man works for right job and best fitness to survive, then little purpose of socialism also is defeated, because everyone is required to work and survive. That point can be concession. That point will be granted certain concession. Well, what I intend to say, engineer has got many roles to play. Engineer, what I mean to say, basically starter engineer, that is civil engineer, you can say, along with support of services engineer. Both move together to create something physically, and that physical creation is very, very significant, because we cannot move in air, we cannot fly, we are not flying machines, we are human beings. We have to create for ourselves. We have to create for ourselves every structure, every home, and every place where we live. It must be well understood, and engineering itself is intellectualism, you can say. An activity of genius application is called engineering. Use of intellectual mind is called engineering. Something to do from natural materials and resources for purpose of human being or society is called engineering. And something which is done and no use, that's not engineer work. Engineer itself says certain basic and solid activity that has to be done. It may be, you can say, for learning is something else, for artistic work is something else. But if artistic work is transformed into physical existence, that can be called process or engineering, process-based engineering or thought-based engineering. What we are talking of is thought-based as well as process-based engineering, because without technology, without process, nothing is practically deliverable. So we have to think in very different way, not what has been conventionally understood, but in a way that we command something for society. And you can do something You can collect soil and do something. You can imagine and you bring something on paper and transform it to physical action. Model it. Role of an engineer actually is entirely different. Can you think? Everybody can think. But engineer can think in different way because he has been taught like that. Engineer is taught not to cram, not to remember, but to dream. Dream and conceive. Dream of something that others dream. For example, civil engineer and architect, both are related to some extent. Architect thinks some structure, not a structure building art. Architect thinks some building, finished building, and on that thinking, on that dream which he brings, architect brings onto isometric shape or bird's eye view or perspective, that is further imagined by engineer in performance. What shape I give to this structure, so that first of all that dream is fulfilled, and also another dream which architect could not understand, could not conceive, and that is service of that structure, because no structure is dead. Whatever structure we produce by thinking and design, that structure is living entity. You may ask me how it is possible. This is possible because we design such living unit. Whatever structure we design, that is living unit. We cannot see that by our eyes, but it performs every movement, whether or not it remains in use. It performs every movement. All forces work through that structure from top to foundation and transfer every load, every action, every force to soil beneath. Where is it dispersed and you can say it goes forever. So it works, that we have to understand. We cannot simply say, oh, we just constructed a building, but that building is functional. Just like human body is functional, just like machine operates, so a structure you can say is also a kind of machine. It is a system. It is system means it has superstructure, it has substructure, that's called foundation, and it has reactions and resistances and vibrations and many more forces which are well defined. So those forces, those loads which are transferred by its own weight and from natural forces and from attacks and from use, all are called forces. These are taken up by members of a structure and then in a unit form are transferred to foundations and further to formation below. This means it works all time. This means structure has head, structure has body, shoulders, its stomach, its legs, and everything it must have. We cannot see that, but it has got. It dances also, it sways also, it is stationed also, it is attention also, and it weeps also, it laughs also, it does everything. That we have to imagine, when it is laughing, when it's not laughing, when it's vibrating, when it's not vibrating, when it's jumping, when it's sinking, that we have to know. And these are all stages of whatever structure we conceive. And that is where engineering plays its role. Structural engineering, construction engineering, design engineering, and all services engineering and supporting engineering. And then role of other branches of engineering like IoT and safety and security and guarding, all that. Natural forces application. That point is philosophical though, but it is practical. It is not a novel that imagine and read in closed book. This book never closes. This book remains open for decades to come and centuries to come. That point we must understand. If we open our mind and talk of this philosophical way, we can change our concepts and thoughts. Because for public, structure is nothing but certain beams, columns, slab, and that is done. When lintel is there, they call lintel in that language. Beams, columns, and slab is there, and they can live in that under one roof. This is their philosophy. Means at least we have a roof to live. Other than this, they don't understand anything. Well, it's not their fault. I can't pass blame to them. I shall pass blame to myself and yourself. Because we are engineers, we are genius people. It is our responsibility to educate people who do not belong to engineering discipline or engineering science. But we never do that. We never do it because we don't know reason behind that. We don't try to even explain to public what is right or what's not right. And even if you explain to public by chance, public would not understand everything. Yes, when they see something, they can say, yes, this is better. I have seen many people who are laymen in engineering, and they do some foundation structures, foundation, beam foundation, beam frame foundation, directly placing column from the, and some watches the, oh, what's this? Oh, this building is different. This is not residence building. Oh, this building was done there. This was the commercial building. That's that building. I saw this building there. Means they just recall what they saw in their past. Oh, this foundation is that one. We have to understand what is public base, what is public concept. Public understands very well what doctor works for, what is duty of doctor. Public works very well, understands very well what's duty of an advocate and a judge and an IAS officer, or what's duty of public servant, what's duty of government employees, but they don't understand what is engineering. For them, just to work on site is engineering. For them, when some building falls, they say, oh, if engineer took money, or this failed and this and that. And if some formwork opens without being concrete or during working, oh, there's some ghost came and each of this. Public has different concepts. I cannot change them because I cannot pass blame to them. It's our blame. We get educated by certification, but we do not really have a well education, and education means you should educate others. But we do not do that. So what to do? Better first learn yourself and then try to do that. And when you try to do that, you know your workers understand something, and their workers can be teacher to public, but you have to teach them first. Well, I cannot teach them everybody because I am unable even to confer with my colleagues, with my fraternity engineers. I don't find that people are interested in learning. This is a regretful statement I am delivering. I have experienced people in engineering, fraternity of engineering, has not been very keen, very interested to know more willingly. Yes, they know more when chance is there, and they think something comes free of cost. Well, I don't mind that also. Cost or no cost, that is secondary criteria. But at least one should have will to learn, and whenever you have chance, you should learn. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe you forget later on, but when you recall, you know it. You can think when you are in university and college in first year or fifth year and you passed out, what your knowledge was and what is your knowledge after 25 years. That comparison statement can be made, can be produced, and you know there's a difference. But if you just sit and do nothing, you cannot learn anything and you cannot do anything. That's why I'm talking to you, because of that. Nowadays the professional development is also, that activity is very important, professional development. That's called continuous professional development, CPD, which is very important from engineering viewpoint. And if you don't have, you cannot upgrade yourself. Whatever technology was available 50 years back doesn't work today to that level, because new formula, new procedures, new management, new designs have come in, new materials have come in. So we have to manage with that, and that's called engineering. All time you have to use intelligence to make up, and that intelligence makeup is very important from this point of view or that point of view. So my target was, my destiny is field engineering in this episode of videos. I started with the engineering management. I had written one book in '96 publication, and I had talked to you about that book, the Civil Engineering Building Practice. This was released in 1996. This did not receive, this did not got very welcome. I don't mind that, and I don't expect any good welcome, well reception. But ultimately, you have to work that way, because that was my personal experience. What I learned, I transformed that writing. I will not call that textbook, because that's no textbook. I don't believe in textbooks for experience. Textbooks is for students, and that's only for scheme, for program they undergo. But practical learning is something different. That's called resources, and these resources are very limited. I have not seen many resources from practical viewpoint. I am finding only for students viewpoint, that student viewpoint is something else, that is bound by syllabus, bound by program, bound by something. But practical application is very important. Knowledge of that is missing. Knowledge is availed, some knowledge is availed by those occupants or those workers who are involved in construction, workers or supervisors. But that too is whatever is taught to them, whatever they understand by virtual work. That is not 100% reliable. What I am talking is reliability. What you learn from university, that is closed, you can say, it's closed once you come out. You have to learn with another open university, and that university is field of engineering or field of industrialization, or you can say wherever you are working that field. That's open university, and there everybody is learner there. You can learn from everyone. Everybody is a teacher there. You can learn. You can learn even from carpenter, mason, or helper, or office boy, and chief of that company, and you can teach everyone directly or indirectly, informally. That is where classroom works. There is no text, there is no scheme, there is no program, there is no degree diploma. That is just learning and learning and learning and learning, which equal to attainment, means you attain certain level of professionalism. Yes, it's up to you whether you learn rightly or you learn wrongly. If you learn wrongly, you will be wrong professional, you will be misleading professional. If you learn rightly and you corroborate what you learned in university, you understand this assembly by verification, you will say yes, it is the command way, and this is what should be done under by support of code, by support of specifications, by support of procedure, by support of whatever way. So you have to make an engineer. Remember, when you come out of university, you are engineering educated. You are trained personnel, but you are not practically trained. Even if you take 1 year or 6 month internship, it doesn't give you anything. You get something only when you do it your own, when you use your mind, conceive something and do something. Even if you make small house or a small room and use engineering and formula and everything and supervise yourself, arrange material, everything, and if you deliver that, that is, you can say, a solid example, solid case of engineering. It doesn't matter you build very big complex or very big road or very big area or airport, you just have to verify what you learned in. That is very important. If somebody says, I have not worked very big projects, so no problem if you are not working. Even if you had worked on very big projects, you would not have learned everything in 3 years, 4 years, because it takes time. It is construction, it takes time. It is material, it's not simply layman practice, it's not physical practice. You have to understand physicality, you have to understand physical way, methods, theory, results, test results. You have to understand behavior of people, behavior of work, everything you have to understand yourself, which makes you a practical engineer, an engineer who can be relied upon. Reliance of person, how you are reliancing yourself, how you are reliancing others. If people are bearing you on their shoulders, means you are useful to them. They are lifting you, they are tracking you. And if you are not helping them, they will not care about you. That is what is required. I was talking about management, field management, practical management, and those parties and points were there. What is the scope of work? What is cost of that work? What's time of that work? What's quality of that work? What is safety on that work? What is reliability on that work? What is procurement on that work? Communication on that work? And you can say many more points are there. So many factors are there. Out of those factors, cost, time and quality are very important, because we have to take into consideration, first of all, production means time. How much time I have to invest on this work? Then what's the cost on this work? Then what quality I have to use? What safety measures I have to use? So these 3 points are very important, because these are prime points, means cost, quality and time. Time is fixed, you cannot change that. Cost you have, whatever you have to produce that work in that work. That's called budgeting, expenditure budgeting, and you have to spend money accordingly. And then you say quality, what level of quality you have to achieve. That is another point of view. If you cannot achieve quality, you cannot maintain time, and you cannot control budget. So project is destroyed, is out of control. No control at all on that project. This means your cost is gone. You don't know what will happen, how much I have to spend more, how much time to take more, and what I am getting quality or quality. You are not sure of that. These 3 points must be well planned and well designed and well prescribed and well understood. If you don't have cost, you cannot do anything. If there is no budget, there is no cost. How shall you do? Fuel set. So cost control is first point. Cost control not only in project, everywhere, in your family, in your kitchen, in your expenditure, pocket expenditure, on your university expenses, national budget, everywhere it is important. And I am happy that engineer understands this very well. And one who cannot understand cost, budget and economy, that person cannot claim to be an engineer, because this is part of social science. In social science, sociology plays very good role. Then economics plays very good role. Civics plays very good role. And many more such disciplines, human relations for example, public for example, such bodies play a very big role in life of engineer. Engineer is not engineering itself, it is work engineering, and we have to work, we have to deliver something, we have to produce something. Then every resource, that is human resource, machine resource, material resource, and all other resources are procured are imported to constitute whatever work you are going to do and deliver that. So these resources are not easy to understand. We cannot simply say I have drawn a plan and do it. For doing that you have to do a lot. That lot is engineering. So engineers should understand economics. Engineers should understand civic science. I mean to say human relations, personal relations, labor relations, public relations, to some extent. You may say this is not engineering syllabus. Stop calling it engineering syllabus. There is no engineering syllabus. That is in a university. Out of that, everything is your syllabus. Wherever you work, you have to understand that nation. Whichever way you are, wherever you work, whole world, you have to understand what nation is that, what law is there, which type of people are working there, what type of material is there. That's very important to understand. If you cannot do that, you cannot manage. You have to understand that you are an engineer means you are a manager. And manager means you are an administrator, you are an engineer, you are a scientist, you are a labor relation manager, you are public relation manager, you are documenter, you are a specifier, you are fellow of engineer, you are fellow of people, and you have many other relations to deal with. You may accept or you may not accept, but one way or other, hour a day or half an hour, 2 hours a day, you are involved with all these. When you are interested in, for example, inviting quotations, you are doing a lot of job in that. When you are quantifying something, you are doing that one, quantification. You have many activities which are undefined, but they are there. That's the reason there are so many subjects in engineering. You have, for example, fluid mechanics. Do you know what's the direct role of that? You have also construction engineering, you know about that. You have design engineering, you know about that. You have theory of structure, applied mechanics, mathematics, you know about that. There are so many. You have applied geology, you know about that. Means somewhere it's applicable. You cannot say no. Some people study social science, that's also applicable. There are so many which are applicable. All are engineering, but you can work each of them, use each of them for some time a day or some few hours a week. You do that. Otherwise you cannot move. So if you use, you cannot simply, oh, this is very simple activity, I manage this, no problem. Yes, it is simple activity, but significant activity. For example, safety shoes. You may call it safety shoes, we can buy any time. No, this is very important. It's very important. Safety shoe, hard hat, goggles, your dress, it's all very important. This can impact adversely or positively on your activity production. If safety shoes are painful, person cannot walk. If hat is not good, person gets headache. How can person work? If person cannot work, person cannot complain because that person has no good expression to complain to you. Oh sir, this problem here I have, I am not wearing this and I am not wearing safety shoes because my pain. So you cannot understand that person's problem. You can, oh no, wear it, get out. Means you have to understand where you feel pain. So that pain should be reduced. That psychology one engineer should understand, realize that there is a problem. It can be in safety, it can be in quality, it can be in construction, it can be everywhere. When we learn, we have to learn every issue. We have to learn human psychology because we have to find right man for right job. If you don't place right man for right job, you will not get production. Same thing, you have to find right man, right job in designs. You have to, this is a general principle. You should also see where you are right. And when you think you are not right there, then you should delegate something. You should delegate that part of recruit to someone else. No problem in that, no harm in that. So what I say, management criteria, management elaboration, management techniques cannot be taken from books alone. You have to think yourself because engineering knowledge is not constrained to your only 50% pass marks. It's consigned to delivery of material. For that you don't need any gold medal or silver medal from your university. You need mind setup. Common sense. My lecturer, my professor used to say, you should have 50% common sense, you are successful engineer. That's right. If you have common sense, you can develop it. You can make it a specialized sense. It's not common sense then. You consider the specialized sense because you are a specialist, you are an engineer. An engineer is a specialist, is VIP actually. People may not recognize that that's something else. But you are. Because you know more than what others know. They don't know. Others do not know what you are doing. So it doesn't matter. But you know you are doing. Everybody doesn't understand what you are doing behind scene, behind curtain. They don't know what you are doing in design office, what you are doing in planning office, what you are doing in coordination office, what you are doing in engineering office, what you are doing in safety office, quality office. People do not know. What you are doing on site and location, they know. Oh, you are costing, you are doing concrete, you are doing shuttering, and you are doing steel fixing, and your roller is working on the road, and oh, flyover is. They know only that part. They are right, but they see that because you did not tell. And they do not know. Well, what I am saying, people are people. It's not in our country, it's everywhere. Everywhere. Because you are not directly linked to public. IT people are linked to public and they know it. People know IT engineer, hardware engineer, software engineer, because that person is in linked to public. Advocate is linked to public, CA is linked to public, politician is linked to public, judge is linked to public. All are into public and Workers are related to public, but not you. People do not know you at all. They know, yes, there are people, there are engineers. Architect is linked to public, engineer is not linked to public. That's drawback because engineers kept themselves off from public. Though they should be in public, but they are not in public. This is regretful, really. We cannot convince people what we are saying, what engineering is saying. People are convinced by those people who have no qualification. They can convince very well. I have many such examples with me, with experiences with me. I met in my life that people do not trust me. They trust the electrician. They trust builder. They trust someone who misleads them. This happened, unfortunately. Not one, not too many times. So I cannot control that too, because whatever is the mindset, they talk that way. What they think engineer shall, first of all, it's difficult to talk to engineer for them. And if they talk to engineer, engineer will increase cost of their building. They don't understand anything because convention is that. But whatever is situation, don't forget, you are going to work for society. They want to save something today, maybe you charge 0.5%, 1%, that they don't understand. They can spend excessive steel, excessive reinforcement in building, they can use excessive material, but will not pay you. Because you think you are charging heavy. They can pay to architect 10 times to what they 10 times to pay, but they shall not pay you because they think what he is doing. Labor is working, material I am giving, this man is just coming and going and say, okay, do it or don't do it. So for that I have to pay. That is mindset. But irrespective of that, role is role. Your role is confined to technical, okay, at least manage technical. Because you are not getting deal with public, no problem if public is not in deal with you, but work is work. Can architect manage everything? 100% no. Yes, he can copy paste, that is different. He can take your design and copy paste some other one, fine. But who is responsible? There are examples, certain living examples. Buildings have been tilted and standing in tilted angle. People are not living in them. Why they tilted, nobody knows. And nobody shall know. Because, okay, tilted, finish. At least people did not die, they would say. They would say people did not die. What a precautionary measure. How a cover up it is. What a cover up, you see. People did not die. And then some bridge collapses. Oh, there was a ghost who came. This is our tendency. Just like in a film where I shown the bridge collapsed and also, oh, there was somebody came and installed bomb and bridge collapsed. This is our thinking. Well, you know all this, but what I am telling is for public. I am trying to educate people because this is video in public. This is not only to you, this is for public. I am trying to educate masses of world that do not ignore engineering. It is because of ignorance of engineering that today environment is polluted. Today sea and rivers are polluted. Because we did like comfort, we did prefer luxurious life, we did not like hard one. Remember, we engineers work in sun, cold, hot, wind, thunderstorm and all weathers. Maybe I am very black or I am not very beautiful, handsome. No, I am not. I can't be because my life has been such. During my career, hardly I was there in city for a few years only, or you can say 2 or 3 years. All time in desert, in a weather where not even dog is seen. In such weather, I was in Libya in deserts, I was in Iraq in deserts, I was in Qatar in deserts, I was in many other countries in deserts. So you have to stay in desert among labor, among workers, or just have some car to drive. Your life is not with family, not with your wife, Nothing. Civil engineer means a prisoner of public. Because project cannot come to you, you can go to project. Yes, for design it is something different. As far as construction activities are concerned, construction projects are concerned, you have to go to site, which is mandatory. Otherwise, you cannot do anything. And when you go to site, you have to stay there in desert. You have to sacrifice. If you want to work as an engineer, you are forced to do that. No problem, I can accept that. This means if you stay in desert for many years continuously, you cannot keep your family there. There are no facilities, no education system. You can means you have to live alone if you want to work as an engineer. And if you stay alone means you will devote yourself to work. So better for you. Yes, ignore your family or don't have your family. Best thing is that. Because you are not having privilege to live with your family if you want to be a successful engineer. If you just want a template here of engineer, that is different. I am engineer, okay. Well, I am not trying to discourage you, don't go to marriage. Marry, no problem. Marry, have kids, that's your life. But do not expect much from engineering in that case. Because fast track projects don't allow even a good food. Not even you won't allow you routine life. That is the reason today engineers prefer office job like designs or planning. They do not prefer layman job. I even call layman because I am layman. I don't have any intellectualism with me. I have left intellectual in design office and I am talking to you from field of engineering. If you understand this is very important. And you say, oh no, site engineering and site work, I don't do. I am intellectual, I am designer, I am philosophical, I can do so much from office and you prepare yourself. Yes, I can say, because I am a designer. I am big. I use computers and all formulas I generate and try and everything, and I can do very beautiful design drawings, package to person working on site. Do it, that's all. Yes, you can do, no problem. But remember, that person is more stupid on site, he will destroy your design. Do you know that? And because there is no constructability, there is no convince, he will do something else if you are not there. And then you say, okay, I have done whatever you did. Whatever you designed, I did that. And if there is the architect with him, you can spoil everything. Because architect will issue his own design. Okay, leave this. If it's 20 mm, leave it, use 12. Or use 25. If there's 12, use 25, no problem. Means where 12 mm reinforcement is required, you will say, okay, 20 mm, no problem. No, okay, it's better. It's better if you are using more size of steel. For them, it's better. So your design doesn't work. Or whatever design you give once, that is repeated at 4 or 5 places. Okay, because it was engineer, I just copy paste and give to someone else. Do you like it? But it's out of your control, you cannot do anything. That's where I say role of engineer is very important to understand. And when role is to be understood, you have to understand quality, safety and all other interlinked disciplines. If you can understand that, you can improve something. You can bring change to society. We say engineering for a change, we are only saying, but nothing is changed. I can challenge. It is changed only in seminars and conferences. In reality, it's not changed. Not changed. You can go and witness. You can go to any site. I challenge you, go to where you want to go. You will not find any change, at least in Bharat, India. I am not talking of other countries. I am very disappointed with general state of construction engineering in Bharat, India. In general, I am not saying specifically. There are good people also, but those are negligible. It is very serious issue to deliver quality with safety. It's very, very serious issue. We have thousands of engineers in designs, we have thousands of engineers in planning, but we have shortage of professionals in construction field. Those who are there, they are not to that mark they should be. It is evident from bad quality work delivered by them. There is no need any explanation. No quality delivered, no value delivered, just work is delivered. And no guarantee that work is based on designs. This worst state of affairs in engineering construction field impacts upon development of nation. But who cares? Because engineers are not in political power. Those who are in political power, they least bother. They least bother. So who bothers? No one. We should remember 70% of our expenditure goes to development works, and which are in general construction works. It may be infrastructural construction like stormwater drain sewer line. It may be road or street. It may be railway traction. It may be some other buildings in private and government sector. It may be whatever else. 70% of our expenditure goes to these activities where engineers work along with administrators. And because engineers have no direct power, they submit to administrators and don't care about quality. And administration people do not know quality, and there is no change in fact. No change. Just do it and leave it. Unfortunately, I am seeing very small activity, stormwater drain or stormwater containment, where there is no eligible design, no reliable design, and construction itself. There is no water stop between base slab and walls, store water. Forget that. When they work, they excavate, they dress up level, they do not compact even, that naturally disturbs soil. Do you remember this? Do you understand this? I explained you before also. Just 1.2 to 1.44 or 5 meter deep, 1.3 or 4 meter wide excavation in trenching. By excavator you do it, and then take out loose soil and put your just blinding concrete without any compaction. They don't understand, and when the excavator, they disturb consolidated soil. This is now undisturbed soil or undisturbed formation level. People do not understand this, do not realize this. Just pour it, pour blinding over, they call lean concrete, pour lean concrete on uncompacted base. So what shall happen? Just think on. They do not compact it and they just work on this. Even I have seen cases during concreting, vibrator is not applied, concrete is not compacted, they leave it as it is, and you can see honeycombing result, white concrete result, they don't care. It's not only in this, also on buildings I have seen, people do not bother. Nobody bothers about leveling of slab bottom, slab soffit, lines of column or layout of column, supporting system of column. No one bothers. No one bothers about anything. Whom you can tell? Every builder knows everything. Engineer is not required. Architect is only for drawing. Or issues drawing. I have seen many drawings where even stairs are not well designed. They do not understand how to work out height of floor. Really, it is very difficult to handle because there is no will to learn and to do better job. And I'm not blaming myself and yourself. Everybody is responsible for that. We do not value material, we waste material. Truck of concrete comes and throw and go away. Nobody cares about what's temperature, what should be curing temperature, how curing should be done, how should material be stored, how should material be protected, how should material be used, how workers should work. Yes, you will find few dresses of safety. Yes, that's okay. Some cases that is there. Some handrails are there in excavation pits, but that is not general. That is where companies are involved sometimes. But as far as quality is concerned, it is really regretful. Regretful. Without any reservation, I am claiming this. I have no reservation on this. Open. I claim quality has been absent from all projects. All projects. Particularly, cast in situ concreting system has failed. People do not know A, B, C, D of construction while handling RCC. And as far as blocks, I'm not talking block or brickwork. As far as brickwork is concerned, I have not seen brickwork anywhere. It's all extraordinary brickwork, believe me. What standard of bricks, what quality of bricks, I cannot see, I cannot know, I don't want to see. How they mix up manually, I cannot answer. They came from another planet and are working here. That's only I can say. No one bothers. Money is being spent and no durability of that building. No durability. Forget anything else. Forget everything else. You can do whatever you want. No problem. Forget design, forget quality, for building adjust. This building has been there for 30 years. It did not collapse. So it's okay. Okay. What can I do? I cannot do anything except barking on that song. So I'm barking. I don't know. People may complain to me, why you're talking like this? You have to talk like that if people don't listen to you. I don't know where is craze in engineering. Where is that blood of engineers? They are comfortable with their jobs. They're happy if they have jobs. And if they don't have jobs, they are searching for jobs. Whatever job, how can I get it? Get it. Yes, we have surplus engineers, I know. We have redundant supplies of engineers every year. Because economy is down, development is down, no money. It's all over like that. Then better don't learn engineering. Why are you learning engineering? What's the purpose of that? Once you are engineering the good job, better don't go to engineering, then leave it. Those engineers who are settled, for them quality got no meaning because they are not to do anything. They are living comfortably, having jobs and enjoying their life, and that's it. But those who have to work in future, who want to handle this business of engineering or this profession of engineering, they have to deal with that. I was talking about engineer, contractor and owner in my management talk, this talk. I explained to you what are various roles of employer or promoter, owner and an engineer and contractor, their relations in this triangle, how they relate to each other, how they work, what are their professional responsibilities and all that, which is very long discussion to go on. I was talking about role of engineer in project management. This project management is not easy, as I said earlier. It's very difficult practically. Theoretically, it's very explanatory and you can explain, you can read, you can write. But that is on papers. That should be reflected, that should be projected in reality on projects, which is very rare. You may describe job of everybody, every key personnel, but that description must be translated, must be transformed in reality physically, which is not done. In many cases, more than 60% of cases, it's not done. I think these days there's a habit, there's a practice, don't read any document, just do and forget everything. This is progressive practice, which is not acceptable. In my view, documents are very important. Very important. You should not go without documents. If you don't use documents, if you don't value them, you cannot get your destiny. For engineer and particularly civil engineer, value of documents must be upheld. And really I am sorry, I can't expect value of documents from doctor. To advocate I have to explain, CA understands, but engineer miss it. All engineers miss it. Skills of engineers must be high according to requirement. Engineers should understand what is the scope of work, what is quality, what is time, what is money, what is cost, what is communication, what is risk factor, how to resolve risk, what are human beings, how they are, how to treat them, what is value of material, what is value of delay, what is impact of delay. Engineer has to understand all this. And this is well given in our management professional talk, as I have made many times, which I can just repeat just for your reference because it's very important. I said that project requirement reasons means project management concept, the project management analysis to understand how to integrate project plan with required knowledge areas, structural sequences of project management, risk response plan, risk management plan, communication, initiation of project, initial charter constituents, planning, development of project plan, major processes constituents within planning knowledge area, integration with development plan, client or owner, then bidder or tenderer, execution of implementation processes, communication channels or processes, monitoring, lessons learned, completion of project, all that I have talked to you before. Then you can say, if you go further up, I would say that what is concept project management, what actually project management is, that I tried to explain to you. I will not repeat that. Then what actually should be understood by profession, you say that, as I said, scope, what is the scope of your job, what is quality, what is time consideration, what is cost consideration, what is risk there involved, human resources and procurement and communication and value and safety and many more, which have not been given so far, but you can include whatever you wish to include. That it helps you, changes, you can say application of earned knowledge, whatever knowledge you have, use it. Application of earned knowledge enriched with advanced skills, organization, environmental factors and processes, tools and techniques to deliver specific results or services to client or customer in line with project delivery. All deliverables requirements through route of project management plan, execution and change controls using leading and organizational potential, all to be integrated with, I said, these factors I explained to you: scope, quality, time, cost, risk, human resources, procurement, communication plans, etc. And then how to integrate them has already been discussed. Then there is, you can say, there was a certain part I was going through in the scope charter. What was charter? I explained to you. I explained quality standards to be achieved on deliveries. Then I explained to you time significant factors governing project stages, and of course cost affecting all parties, risk factors is all explained to you, and various processes I tried to explain to you. And these were means you can say on that document you can see project management communication I explained to you. And then say there are certain pages that I'm teaching is means project charter, what details are there, and then planning, what details are required. And then I'm trying to go to I talked to you about bidding, and that was technical bid and commercial bid. Then I try to talk to you execution about that, and how contractor manages and engineer manages, and how engineer has to lead in this, what are sequences in engineer's responsibility and what are sequences contractor's responsibility. I explain to you about that. Then I should say, then communication channels I explain to you, which are very important. This regarding you can say regarding all you can say records of all live services recording sector when you started on the correspondences, the how to do planning, how to do engineering, how to do all site issues, how to do laboratory work, how to find laboratory and HSC training, and all changes of work. This I already explained to you. Now I am going to say this project sets. This is monitoring and updates continuous process during project life cycle. That sequence is also very important, and this works, so supervision and monitoring are carried out by all parties. Once a work supervision is supervision of activities and monitoring are carried out by all parties concerned. These processes are done as a part of quality assurance or control or management, schedule controls, progress or status control, cost control, application of various updates, understanding various non-compliances and non-conformances, understanding risk factors and their implication, mitigation of risk factors, etc. This stage is dominant for pinpointing flaws occurring to project performance as obstacles. Obstacles are required to be eliminated or adjusted for measuring planned value of performance or ascertaining measurement as desired. This is monitoring and updates continuous process during project life cycle. Let's see what are deliverables in this. You can say all deliverables or work done are inspected by contractor's project discipline site engineer and project or discipline quality engineer in all respects to meet requirements. These deliverables would constitute almost all documents as well that scope required. These documents require inspections, examination by competent key personnel for submission, authorization. All approved works have to be documented in various approved formats. All or part of deliverables in line with agreed test check percentages are inspected by consultants and engineer over contractor's quality engineer. These deliverables would constitute almost all documents as well that scope required. These documents require inspections, examination by competent engineers, key personnel for approval, authorization, for permanent reference documentation. All approved works have to be approved and documented in various approved formats and transmitted to executor or contractor for permanent record. All variances are noted, documented, and their adjustments or applied corrective works are documented for records. Schedules are regularly revised as updates. Time-based timelines are either maintained or revised accordingly. Cost-based line also is maintained to revise as case would require. All approvals, you can say all site approvals are based on such inspections by various specialists as well as discipline engineers for consultants over inspections done by contractors, engineers. These approvals could be for civil works or for allied services. All tests require approvals. All factory as well as site tests require approvals. Services installations require testing at various phases, often first fix, second fix, and final fixing, followed testing and commissioning, and before that pre-commissioning checks or pre-commissioning, you can say snags or punch list. Then you can say work progresses. Work's progress is measured by planning engineer to compare, or valuation engineer, you may also call a part of planning engineer, to compare with time schedule. Formula to measure progress has to be agreed between engineer and contractor during post-contracting planning stage. Progress can be activity based or cost based. Actual project status can be defined exclusively by cost reflection of earned project. Activity based projection shall reflect directive status, but activity based status of progress is helpful to physically control progress to keep in line to time schedule. Work changes. All changes are issued by engineer or consultant in conjunction with client and based on contractor's opinion. Work changes are expected to be within limits of acceptances, within limits of tolerance of budget. Changes may be required to meet product requirements or to suit function project would provide. Basic project cannot be changed. Certain requirements may be allowed during scope formation charter. All requirements should have been listed in all respects. Only oversights or some functional changes could be added, may be added as changes. Keeping continuation of incorporation of changes may not allow project to finish that in interest of neither party. So changes can affect cost of deletion or addition. Changes can affect cost as deletion or addition, or omitting. Deletion can also be called omission. Changes can also affect prospects of procurable material as well as those already procured. Already procured can be rendered out of use. Then the scope change can generate risks for change on time schedule, as well as changes cannot be made on long lead items, or if necessary to be made, could be made in early stages of project life cycle. And you know what is long lead item, as I explained before. Long lead item means that item which consumes major portion of project time. This means during project time it cannot be placed in order, so it is done prior to award of project and later on transforms into a form of novation to contractor's responsibility from owner's responsibility. That is called novation, and this applies to long lead items where part of work of agreement with manufacturer is done by owner, which is later on transmitted legally to contractor's responsibility, financial as well as otherwise. Cost, time and quality can be severely affected. As I said, cost, time and quality can be severely affected by certain changes that need attention by engineer or client. Better to avoid changes to finish project in time. Changes are not welcome, but contractor as well as engineer or client. Investment made based on project need return by opening to use after commissioning only. It says investment made on project needs return by opening to use after commissioning only. Time to close out project is one of extremely significant factor. Payment certificate. Work payment certificates details are proposed by contractors, quantity surveyors in conjunction with project engineer or project manager. All works done or all changes approved and carried out on required to be projected on payment certificate document. So payment is talking of, I'll come back to this. I'll come back to payment. This is payment, and then revised time schedule, then communication in stakeholders, and engineers communication to client, and then it's lessons learned, all that. That's later on. I'll come back because if you just go directly to that, it would miss something. I'm just inclined at a moment on quality issue, which I'm now trying go back there. because yesterday I talked to you about ISO 9001, and that was charter, not charter actually, that was the format of SL, NX SL one I talked yesterday. I am trying to talk to another one, and that is, you may say, it is SL2, NX SL2. I'll try to take NX SL2, supervising management RCC building, and this is your, let me see which one is that. Hold on please. Contractor General RCC building construction level. Okay. Now I am going to talk to you about ISO 9001, ISO 9001 2015 NXSL, that is Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction Template. This script, complete noting, I did myself based on my experience, and it is not related to whatever book you think of, and it is not even related to what ISO 9000 2015 body says. It is simply based on my experience, and it says quality system is Contracting General RCC Building Construction. This is title of this NXSL. I have prepared many NXSLs, for I think 3 or 4. This is one of them, and this quality system is Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction. The format is same as I given last time. This is general format, and what says, let me read what it says. It says, an organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives. Alright, wait a minute, let me close some file. It's causing problem here. Let me close this file better. Alright, some file is closed, so it will help me to, yes, so it is, yeah. What I am saying is, an organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives, which being in this case Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction. Alright, I think I'll take a lot of time today on this, so I'm just reading again for you. This is quality system, Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction, and it is going to give you brief on what is general contracting RCC building involved in that. So you can say it's a contracting actually organization, and every organization, or you can say an organization adopts a management system to take care of comfortably achieving its set objectives, which being in this case Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction. So our objective is general. This says Contracting General RCC Buildings Construction. Then it is management system. So this is management system. Management system comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which lead to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer satisfaction by meeting product or services expectations. So what I said, this is my objective on this NXSL, that I am talking about contracting, and that is general contracting, where RCC building construction is involved. And this system I adopted, say, that I have defining procedures in this just to authorize, just to tell everybody, implement like this. That's why I'm saying whatever operations you do, whatever activities you perform, you have to handle, you can say indicatively, so that you are successful. You reach a stage that you understand, you try to know, or you get confirmation that intended objective is achieved. And that is where we need, which leads to enhanced use of resources. Means you will get best use, you will get best return from your resource, and your risk management will minimize, means, and you will minimize risks, and you can say you shall enhance customer satisfaction, or you may add value engineering or value to that customer satisfaction for whatever product of this building we are going to deliver. So what it says, management system comprises various sets of procedures for charting out and implementing various operations or activities so as to successfully reach its intended objectives, which lead to enhanced use of resources, improvement on risk management, and increased customer satisfaction by meeting product or services expectations. In this case, product is contract in general, RCC, buildings construction. Organizations do work on various management systems, say quality management, environment management, safety management, etc. All three systems apply on this case directly as well as indirectly, means these systems are management, building construction management, environment management, and safety management. Of course, quality management is very important of those three, but safety is also equally important because safety is first. This environment safety are first for application purposes, not for domination purposes. These various systems in line to ISO 9001-2008 used to work on varying management structures, causing inconvenience to interface with each other. But now all these issues shall be dealt with as framed in a common template, as I explained to you before. 2008 had some complications, so 2015 resolves them, addresses them. So NXSL, being a high-level management system structure, has produced a common platform so as all systems that organization adopts can be drawn based on NXSL format, NXSL design of format. Contract in general, RCC buildings construction can be easily defined within NXSL format. Such arrangement provides many commonalities in designing system, implementation, monitoring, evaluation, and improvement. Such arrangement provides many commonalities in designing system, implementation of that system, monitoring that system, evaluation and improvement on that system by trying to eliminate conflicts that existed with ISO 9001-2008 system. Various stages related contract in general, RC buildings and building construction can be covered within this NXSL template successfully. All management systems shall have single high-level identical core text with common terms and definitions, which can be defined within NXSL. What it says, common terms and definitions we have to use. The high-level structure cannot be changed. High-level structure we are talking about cannot be changed, but discipline-specific subclauses can be both added or changed. As such additions may be made where required related to contracting general RCC buildings construction. NXSL applies to all management systems, standards, publicly available specifications and technical specifications, as well as customized requirements. I repeat, NXSL applies to all management system standards, publicly available specifications and technical specifications, as well as customized requirements. Revised ISO 9001, 14001 and 45001 shall all be based on NXSL high-level structure were related to in this case through not included, the not included here in this Annex SL template shown below, which I am going to talk to you in details. This Annex SL template is only for indicative guidance to apprise the engineer how new system adopted by ISO effective September 2015 work to produce organizational prime quality document, which shall govern whole organization quality process required by business, adding accountability shareable by business and technocrat leaders. Wherever and whatever requirements demand, items can be added as such. Item can be added as sub-clauses, but no deletions can be made. What it says, wherein whatever requirements demand, items can be added as sub-clauses, but no deletion can be made. Main shall remain main. Purpose of this template is just to project quality track demanded by ISO 9001-2015 system, which is a mandate published by ISO and without which applications, all existing ISO 9001-2008 registered certifications shall stand invalid after 3 years of September 2015. This means effective 2018, September 18, ISO 9001-2008 doesn't stand. Therefore, this Annex SL adoption is a must for new quality system operating globally. So these were just guiding lines for this format. We also just explained to you means what are basics of this Annex SL, how it works, how it can connect all these three systems together and can unify them. We will go to contracting general RCC building construction Annex SL. Same as I discussed yesterday. There are three columns. One is clause, one is format title, and then there's description. Clause 1 to 10 will talk, format title will talk, and then we'll say how it works. Let me blow up a little because I am blowing up so that I can understand better speech and better talk. And let me see how it's working. So I'll go back to yes. So I'm now starting this SL of general RC buildings construction. This clause 1, and that is scope. And description is it includes intended outcome of management system which are industry specific and should be aligned with clause 4 context of organization. Well, let's see. So what is here is here, let me see that to be included in Annex SL template. This is scope, and it says scope in this case does not amount of direct product delivery to owner, but other contracts and parties are involved for a successful delivery of product produced by contracting organization, which scope very brief indication has been given below. Let me read it again because the question of description and intended actions related to PDCA, plan, do, check, act. You know that PDCA, this is basics of ISO 9001-2015. As Annex SL is a PDCA, plan it, do it, check it and act it. It's not simply check and stop. Do, check and act means self-monitoring and self-correction there is. So it's very significant from your understanding point of view and application point of view both. We cannot stop just at something. We have to complete that cycle. And scope in this case does not amount to direct product delivery to honor, that's very clear. But other contracts and parties are involved for a successful delivery of product produced by contracting organization, which scope very brief indication has been herein. Let's say contracting channel RCC buildings construction from winning a bid to project final completion stage. This means total cycle up to final completion, means total cycle of your design and construction, you can say. Now we are talking general contracting. So contracting general RCC buildings, this I'm writing RCC buildings because I'm going to tell about that. It may be structural or RCC structural still something else, but it's just the indicative one. So from construction is bidding stage, from contracting stage, that's bidding stage, to final completion, which means practical or mechanical completion from maintenance period included, and that's this is. Then construction prosecuted based on designs delivered by owner appointed engineer, means we are working here as a construction contractor only, C contractor, construction contractor, not EPC, because EPC means we have to design ourselves based on feed documents. Here we are getting design documents, designed, done and delivered to us by engineer appointed by owner or employer or promoter, and that is main party, and is party 1 on your construction contract. Party 1 is the employer and party 2 contractor. Construction prosecuted based on design delivered by owner appointed engineer. Construction operations supervised directly by owner appointed engineer. So that engineer supervises directly all jobs through resident engineer or directly, it's up to him depending on the size of job. If job is small, can directly engineer supervise that. Otherwise you have to appoint, engineer has to appoint some representative in form of supervising engineer, that is resident engineer, or you may give any term to that, doesn't matter. Construction prosecuted by owner appointed contracting organizations including subcontractors under superintendence by engineer. It says construction prosecuted, I am calling prosecution, actually it is English word. You may call it whatever you can, carrying out, or you may call it execution. It's up to you, but prosecution is a real word in contracting. You generally use it. Construction prosecuted by owner appointed contracting organizations including subcontractors under superintendence by engineer. So there is contractor, the main one. Then there are subcontractors, and then there will be many more. There will be many subcontractors. That's what I will talk later on. So this is here. This means prosecution who are doing under engineer, or engineers is responsible what work is going on there. As far as contract is concerned, engineer is non-party to this contract, but independent party, or you may call it third party, or equal to third party. Though it's directly involved with employer, yet it is to some extent as a judge independent one. Now, delivery of design and specifications wise, delivery of design and specification wise compliant, completed, building under certification of completion per contract documents and regulations. Repeat, delivery of design and specification wise compliant, completed. Try to understand what I am saying. Delivery of design and specification wise compliant, completed, means it complies to specifications and design. Completed, building under certification of completion per contract documents and regulations, means this is what is delivery completed, like that. This is delivery requirement, means contract requirement. Then certificate of completion of contract granted by engineer appointed by owner. So certificate of completion means discharge of contract responsibilities except warranted items. Alright, then we'll further clause 2, that is normative references, which includes details of references standard, details of reference standards in or publications relevant to particular standard. Alright, now in this normative references to be included in Annex SL template, and that's what it says. Number one, honor is designated part 1 on this contract. That's I said earlier. Honor is party 1. Number 2, contractor, this I'm talking of construction contract. Honor is party 1, that is honor is designated party 1 on this contract. Number 2, contractor is designated party 2 on this contract, of course second party. Then number 3, contract between owner and contractor or FIDIC or NEC, which would be after job is 1. See, contract between owner and contractor. This is a contract between two. Now it depends which type of contract you take. You may follow FIDIC or you may follow NEC. NEC is actually a new form of Institutions of Civil Engineers London standard form of contract, which was earlier available but is replaced by new engineering contract now. Say I think for many years it's been, which would be after job is 1, means whatever agreement between two parties go on, contractor and construction contractor and owner or you can say employer, they may accept FIDIC or they may accept whatever else. I'm not going to, it means these are both international. FIDIC is actually much more specific, much more powerful than other one. We can analyze FIDIC, which we'll do later on. I'll go, it's very long document and we'll discuss in that. It's very explicit and clear. We'll see it later on because this is very important for civil engineers. It's a red book and it's very much useful if you can understand that, because language is not very difficult also. So now, next one, engineer is not a legal party on this contract. Yes, engineer is working party, engineering is specialist party, but independent of construction contract. It's like an, you can say, equivalent to third party, though it's paid by employer, just like contract is also paid by employer. So engineer is not a legal party on this contract. Then next is, engineer shall administer this contract legally for owner. Engineer shall administer this contract legally for owner. Try to understand this. This is very big statement. You are going, if you are an engineer, you are going to administer this contract legally for owner. This means you have to think a lot. You have to completely analyze contract and then analyze your work, where you can be trapped in future, because you cannot be biased either towards employer or towards contractor. You have to maintain equal distance from them and you have to treat them on equity based. The equity based is that is equality, and if you don't do that, you miss your activity, you miss your job responsibility. That is where engineer is very significant position as far as contract designation is concerned. I am not talking of non-key personnel. I am talking of engineer, means which is equivalent to designer plus supervisor and plus completely responsible, whose signatures are stamped on drawings, on specifications and on contract initials, because that person is a specialist and that person devises your contract on behalf of employer, and that is very responsible position. And if happens or mishappens something in future, that person shall be treated as responsible and accountable, liable in law court. And look at next one. Payment shall be made by owner to contractor based on payment certificate issued by engineer from time to time, and finally based on completion status, keeping abreast all contract conditions. So this is your payment certificate, running payment or final payment, whatever this means. Every month this happens and certificates are issued depending on contract was quantity or for quantification or what type of valuation you agree with employer or engineer. Means this way you have to move, and you can say this percent of work is over, you get this much payment, and recoveries are this, material means whatever is there. There are so many issues concerned with the payment issue, valuation, running valuation. You can say payment is generally payment certificate is called by actually what is valuation certificate, which is accepted by bank, means for overdraft purpose or other purpose. And in case of dispute resolution mechanism, that is you can say, a kind of arbitration in case of if dispute resolution mechanism is required to be operated on whatever issues, and issues are engineer shall in first go be referred. Engineer shall in first go means first be referred whether disputes arise. We suppose there is a dispute between contractor and employer, then engineer will be referred whatever disputes do arise, whose decision means engineer's decision shall be final and binding on both parties means contractor and employer, until arbitration process commences with, when engineer's decision is not honored by one party, and finally whatever this arbitration tribunal decides, that shall be awarded, because that award is equivalent to court's award. Now both parties shall be free to embed arbitration clause contract within this contract. Both parties shall be free or are free to embed arbitration clause contract within this contract. You have to just understand what this means. It says both parties shall be free to embed arbitration clause contract within this contract. When you say this contract has one arbitration clause, this means this contract is having that clause, but that clause itself is a separate contract. Only it is embedded or inserted in that contract does not mean that this constitutes a part of that contract, but it is a contract in different contract. If you cannot say that this is a part of contract, because this is ruled exclusively by some other law, and this is ever living. Even if your contract is cancelled, it's rescinded, it's abrogated, but you cannot abrogate arbitration contract or arbitration clause provisions which would go alive even after, you can say, restructuring your contract. You can say that way. Both parties shall be free to include specific professional qualifications of incumbent arbitrator or of dispute adjudication board members. This is also very important from contractual viewpoint. Says both parties shall be free to include specific professional qualifications of incumbent or proposed arbitrator or of dispute adjudication board members. This says, generally I have seen in all construction contracts, it's free, you appoint whoever you want, but my suggestion, my demand, actually you can say, whatever I have experienced in my career, this causes a problem, because foreign elements, I mean to say impurities based professionals enter into disputes resolution mechanism, and that they spoil complete professional achievements. What I try to say, this is very different. Maybe you people do not understand that or find difficult to understand. If we do not write professional qualification that proposed arbitration should have, what happens? Past judges or senior advocates try to enter this field just to make money, despite fact that they are not aware of contractual mechanism. They do not understand what is contract provision. They do not understand what happens in field, how do people operate in field, how works are done. They just stick to civil procedures which are exempted from application of arbitration. Arbitration tribunal is equivalent to court but not a court. This is very important to understand. Arbitration award is equivalent to court award, but tribunal is not a court, but these arbitrators have their monopoly. What they do, these judges and senior advocates always occupy position in this, And even Apex Code tries that because each arbitrator earns a lot on one sitting. But this is profession of engineers who are not valued. They know better, much better than what judges and what advocates know about contracts and implications and aftermaths of disputes, but they are not working. And that is the reason that dispute adjudication board is constituted under FIDIC as a special mechanism for intermediate resolution of disputes, though that too is not arbitration tribunal but a process in between engineer and arbitrator, which is dispute adjudication board, DAB. That is very significant if project is massive one or it's mega one. When at specified or indicated frequency these members do visit site, they try to know the activities, they try to understand where problems are, and they try to resolve them on site with an agreement with both parties, employer and contractor. This is of course not very conventional one, but this is new concept just to avoid even arbitration. There is an arbitration support, or you can say consultancy support, you can say it's like a consultant support in between position of engineer and arbitrator. So that is called dispute adjustment board, which is a better one if the project is a bigger one, is size. Otherwise for a small project you cannot say you accept what engineers awards or I don't support. And if you want really that you want to keep your skin safe, then define qualification of arbitrator. You can write there should be a civil engineer with 15 years or 20 years experience, or there can be mechanical engineer if this is mechanical or machine field, or this electrical issue you can say electrical engineer. Better keep professionals involved in arbitration because this is permissible. But if you don't write qualification, past judges and senior advocates always play with you. They do not know anything, they spoil arbitration. They are only interested in dates and this and that. They do not understand how do you work on site. They will simply raise questions for nothing, having meaningless, and they will write meaningless and talk meaningless. I have experienced this and I'm very disappointed with this because engineers keep themselves off from this field, and that is where disease lies. Alright, even if you see CPWD in this country, they use superintending engineers for this position, and that is to some extent right one. But in otherwise, we all are sleeping professionals. Do not try to take any interest in such types of, you can say, provisions within contract, and that is the reason that advocates who draw such documents in contract, they avoid this qualification. If you use it, you force them to write qualification so that at least these luminaries of law keep off this department, this discipline. Alright, I am speaking very strongly because this impacts upon profession. Now for different dispute resolution, it is recommended based on real experience that all members on the arbitration panel or on DAB should be experienced civil engineers who will understand contract and relevant impacts. I explained already. In case dispute adjudication board, that's DAB, has been appointed by both parties, decision related to dispute shall be charted out by it. ISO 9001-2015 honors the organization document, includes engineers relevant if applicable, may be switched to if so mandated by owner in place of contractor's quality system. Let me repeat it. ISO 9001-2015 honors organization document, including engineers relevant if applicable, may be switched to if so mandated by owner in place of contractor's quality system. Next one is ISO 9001-2015 contractors organization document to be complied with when no such mandate by owners requires to follow owner system. Well, next is project schedules that would be agreed upon by and between both parties to contract. Project as this is also part of this. Then all contract descriptive documents and then all design descriptive, all design drawings, all disciplines, then all project specifications, all general specifications, national specifications, the list of materials for selection by contractor and costing, the list of subcontracting vendors for a selection by contractor for costing if so mandated by engineer, then typical list of working and shop drawings, all disciplines, all applicable lists of codes must be included within contract or tender or bid documents. Specific working procedures or method statements for certain specific purpose if so required. All other references such as related to HSE, ecosystems, quality systems and others of some. Now class 2 it was, now I'm going to class 3 and that is terms and definitions, and that's all includes detailed terms and definitions applicable to particular specific standard in addition to format related terms and conditions. Now it says to be included in Annex SL templates is control references I'm giving, let's say authorities, number 1, statutes and laws, number 2, contract with honor or FIDIC Red Book or new engineering contract as I said earlier, NEC, as case B, or national standard contract if certainly applicable, then contract documents, then owners personal, engineers personal, contractors personal, workforce, and daily progress report or status, memos to contractor, technical clarification, engineering clarification, contractual clarification, subcontractors, nominated subcontractors, site instruction, engineer's instruction, request for inspection general items, request for inspection concrete pours, non-compliance reports, material approval request, drawing approval request, subcontractors approval request, temporary works, preparatory works, permanent works, construction method statements, standard working designs or details, quality management statement including checklists and ITPs, safety management documents including safety, induction, training, upkeep and surveillance, fire prevention and suppression. Now supporting executive references, these 31 I just named to you, these are control references that would control your activities, and other one is supporting executive references, and these are excavation, soil testing on site, soil improvements, blinding, concrete protection, waterproofing, below ground and above ground, cast in situ concrete, formwork, reinforcement fabrication, reinforcement placement, precast pre-stressed concrete if included, concrete class, reinforcement grade, soil backfill, piping, concrete block walls, roofing, plastering, rendering, flooring, doors, windows, ironmongery, kitchens, wet areas, finishes, special items, testing and commissioning, design estimated quantities, issued for information drawing, issued for building permit drawings, issued for construction drawings, revised designs, national annexes, nationally determined parameters, published documents, and all other necessary definitions. These are listed because these are supporting executive references. These are actually works also, you can say, and these are not permanent references. These are very important. I again repeat for it because excavation is major prime activity, soil testing is technical activity, Soil improvements is engineering activity. Blinding is, you can say, formation activity. Blinding, I mean the same as we call it in this country, laying concrete or a concrete laid below foundation. That's we call in international term blinding concrete. Then concrete protection is waterproofing below ground and above ground. These are professional activities to protect foundations, concrete from adverse impact of soil chemicals. Generally we call it waterproofing because water is also involved in that. Water can penetrate through soil particles, soil structure, that is clay soil it cannot pass, silt soil it cannot, but sandy soil it penetrates. And property, a property of permeability works there, but porosity, clay is porous, clay is porous, and porous clay doesn't cause a problem, but it swells much. So we have to understand what is the reason that we are what we call it protection from soil. We are protecting foundation material, just concrete, from adverse sulfate impacts or other chemical impacts, or you can say Mount Morillonite mineral impacts onto concrete. And then we get cost sensitive concrete is the material itself. Then form work, preparatory work, and reinforcement fabrication, which is, you can say, permanent inclusion, and reinforcement placement is also for permanent inclusion. Then precast, pre-stressed concrete, if including fast track projects for slab work. Then concrete classes grade, which is the reinforcement grade, what it is. Then soil backfill, which is also very much complicated and technical activities, takes time. People do not care for this, and this is really very, though it is backfill material, it is very graded material, it should be imported one. People feel just what they excavate and do it, and just they just not even grade it, not even select it, take out big particles, but they just fill water, and I don't know what they do, and means they spoil actually. They invite building to tilt in future or to settle. Then piping and concrete block walls. Concrete block walls, a very important item. We are not using this one, very important this is, because we are using bricks, which is not that much durable and chemically fit as concrete block walls are. And then roofing, inverted roofing, or whatever roof you are using here, so that's waterproofing system actually is roofing. And then plastering, rendering, and we can say rendering is external, plastering is internal, and then flooring and doors, windows, all the kitchens and materials and finishes, specific items. And then testing and commissioning, which is very important, ingredient, which is an important activity for all activities of services. Then design, estimated quantities issued for information drawings, all these drawings and all that I'm saying, and then revised design and national annexures. That is also very important. National annexes, which are going to say that nationally determined parameters, published documents, and all these three actually national annexes, nationally determined parameters called NDP, and published documents, means we are talking about European codes. European codes are standard one, and it's international code. We use it. It's important. It's very descriptive and explanatory, but they leave certain blanks for other countries to fill in, because certain decisions your nation has to take regarding those codes, depending upon climate, depending on geological factors, depending upon various factors, that those codes cannot generalize. That fill in you have to decide and add to that one, insert to that fill in, and that's called national annexes and parameters that you are going to. So there are two documents and three documents actually. National annexes, you have to use what is deficient information these European codes give, as well as national determined parameters, because you are not fully determined in European codes. If you apply those civil codes 58 numbers to your job, then you have to fill in those information yourself, because though those people have taken from their countries, they don't know about your country. You have to set that information yourself if you want to apply those codes onto your work. And then there are published documents or documents and all other necessary definitions. These are very limited one, and there is no limit. You can devise yourself and see what else can be required, and that is the freedom granted by, you can say, ISO 9050. Previously this freedom was not available. Now this liberty is given that you decide yourself absolutely where there is the option, where there is chance to go away, and where there is a mandate you have to go different. So this supports you create yourself for your own. They will not interfere in this that much. Then we go to class 4, that's context of organization. context of organization, that's clause 4 as a standard form of Annex SL. And this says, let me blow up little because it's very small font here. Yeah. It says it includes number 1, understanding organization and its context. Understanding organization and its context, understanding needs and expectation of parties, determining scope of management system. Then there are points for consideration in this. These are definitions, as I say, includes, again I speak, because this is not very explanatory, this is context of organism which you are going to build in your way. Means how to understand organization and what it actually gives you in writing on its own. Then what are understanding needs and expectation of parties from your organization, and determining scope of management system. And considerations are, points are, why organization exists actually, why does it exist, what is the reason behind that. Means purpose. Then identify internal and external issue that impact intended outcome. Means internal and external impacts you have to chart out. Then interested parties and their requirements, stakeholders you can say, what they expect. And then define scope and set boundaries of management system. Raise employers' awareness and involvement. So this is a kind of management and administrative. You cannot say this directly linked to your activity, but it is also a must, because you have to satisfy your customer, your client, keeping abreast implications of all these points. Now we can say it is continuously, as they say, it is to be included in Annex SL template. Now it is that we have to satisfy foregoing requirements. Let's say how. Project charter considerations for each bid project. What is actually charter business here? Maybe many of you did not hear this, and most of you might be. This is actually authorization document. If it is a professional group, maybe name they are not giving charter, they are keeping, okay, we are keeping a master file for this project or lead file, and maybe some general manager or MD keeps with him, oh no, this file I'll keep it, this very important file, or there's so many confidential items. But that is authorization by management, authorization for company or organization. That is actually right as a privilege of the body. That's called charter here. Written privileges, written rights and responsibilities both. It's not simply rights, it's responsibilities as well. So project charter, this is construction project charter, incapacity as contractor, project charter considerations for each bid project. Means, let me see first what actually they are talking of. They are talking of we as a contracting, building, construction organization to maintain each project track, work out a charter related to every bid, and thereafter that charters continue, the charter continues if bid turns to award as contract. Means at bid time you start this initially, and if you get it's okay, let it continue, and if it doesn't come in, no problem, bye bye, record it, that's it. Charter is not an ordinary one. This charter is not an ordinary one, but management board comprising leaders. Management board, what's that? That means leaders and senior constitutes. Leaders and seniors, I'm talking of management. Leaders and seniors constitutes complete details related to bid and post-bid of project matters. It starts working on from effective day when talk of bid commences with considering all relevant points whether or not this bid can be made as an objective for organizational progress, or it may be a prestigious progress to raise organizational status. You have to evaluate, you have to value whatever bid you buy and you study that and then think of whether to go for that or to leave it, condemn it. Well, economical, financial, technical, past records, profits, possible risks, company business policy, current workloads, etc. are all brought into charter's consideration, leading to resolve or adopt or make a final decision whether or not to go for this bid or else close this charter at this stage so that bid documents could be successfully returned to owner or engineer with regret and thanks for giving an opportunity for considering at this stage for this project. Let me repeat this is a long sentence. Economical, what we're talking about above of chart, the chart must include economical, financial, technical. Economical, financial, technical, past records, profits, possible risks, company business policy, current workload, etc. These are points that must be considered when you are entering something into charter, are all brought into charter's consideration, leading to resolve and adopt or make a final decision whether or not to go for this bid or to reject it. Close this charter at this stage so that bid documents could be returned, successfully returned to owner or engineer with regret and thanks for giving an opportunity to consider all at this stage for that project. So this is general one. You have to decide means what you are going to do with this project. Maybe you are not no time, you have no resources for this project, you have no funding for, so you would simply, or you think that project is not for you, it's for something else, it's not your specialty or it's not your responsibility, or you may not sail very smoothly on this project, so you can say regret, you can send regret letter and written documents. This project charter acts as a master professional management document for prosecution and execution of project during post-award and thereafter, since it contains complete details including provided budget for implementation. So this can become a tool, management tool to monitor complete progress of project and to, you can say, use it in your, you can say, mitigation of risks. Then it is, our organization does not believe in randomly taken decisions on projects bidding, but adequate detailed consideration and analysis are conducted prior to clearance is given to whatever bid be under charter consideration, which decision our organization considers professional approach. Let me repeat it. Our organization does not believe in randomly taken decisions on projects bidding. So we are professional one. We cannot simply say yes or no. We have to work out, we have to think in details as team, but then adequate details consideration and analysis are conducted, so we have to do that prior to clearance given to whatever bid under charter consideration. Clearance means plus or minus, do it or don't do it. That means is this, and before that we have to conduct all this exercise of going into detailed study and understanding of bid and which decision our organization considers professional approach. That's right. Means if you are screening completely. If you screen completely, if you try to analyze completely inside and outs of that, means if you are not going to any build up of this due to this project, or this project is so prestigious you cannot leave it, then you have to think so many resources, so many sources how to come and finance all this. Well, that's where charters is to be written. When decision is based in charter, if charter says do it, means declare it, does it, or we have to do it, that's fine, then you have to move further. Now, points raised by each member during brainstorming session and all other analytical sessions are duly minute on charter for further references. It's natural when it's a kind of meeting, when you talk in meeting or something, it must go on record. Now organization, it's talking of organization. Now this organization is an existing registered grade, this or that, A to Z contracting organization in state or nation of this, means this is what it is. This organization is commercially registered under statute and authority of National Chamber of Commerce or under Companies Registration Act such and such. We are leading organization in building, construction or else in general, and having adequate experience in relevant disciplines including all allied services expertise. List of our quality oriented and value added delivered products has been enclosed as annex with credentials won from various clients. We have consistent and competent. We have got consistent and competent team of competent professionals from all required engineering disciplines with a strength this much. Professional engineers, we can say how many professional engineers, chartered engineers, other degrees with a supporting engineering strength, or caliber, and engineers providing and supporting dedicated team for building related site works, engineering execution and prosecution for getting best possible product works deliveries related to RCC buildings and allied structures and infrastructures including landscape architecture also. Intend to help public. What is our MO? Our ambition as company, as organizations, we intend to help public avail benefits of best technical know-how regarding construction of RCC buildings, either directly to owner of buildings or to professional architect appointed by building engineer, or to end user, or to all stakeholders as case may be. Organization is a small, medium, large group of technocrats but with high level profile backup of engineering supervision, management attainment. Then you can say organization is fully capable to augment its strength further. All disciplines pertinent supervising experts as and when required. We are giving, see, our strength. We are trying to give here this. Organization understands that it is its professional, national and social responsibility to contemplate, analyze, consider and reconsider to deliver best and fittest degree of works production at economical and sustainable ecological cost. forcing keeping site and surrounding location tidy, safe in all respects, and help to avoid inconvenience to public. This is, let us say, a little complicated one but powerful one. Organization understands that it is its professional, national, and social responsibility to contemplate, analyze, consider, and reconsider to deliver best and fittest degree of works production at economical and sustainable ecological cost, forcing keeping site and surrounding locations tidy, safe in all respects, and help to avoid inconvenience to public. We'll move further. Organization is committed not to work against environment and health, which makes upon it incumbent to comply with rules regarding protection from construction related hazards. Organization is committed not to allow any construction related debris or other waste remain on sites or in vicinity, but to transport all these environment pollution related wastages to approved locations where adequate further care may be resorted to by responsible authorities. Organization understands that product end user organization understands that product end user expects best sustainable economically, ecologically, and within acceptable criteria, graded with quality controlled products. All such operations that can assist site work with minimum efforts and maximum benefits. Organizational leader ensures, leader we are talking is responsible, top man, which is actually something new in this 2015, which I missed in 2008, no problem. Organizational leaders ensures that it well understands requirements mandated by law, regulations, contract documents, good industrial practices, honor, architect, and others. Internal issues are references. Internal issues are references to mandatory or advisory practices, national and international codes, prosecution requirements, labor controls, and welfare. Subcontractors control maintaining space and harmony or at residences, camps, and all at all sites. External issues are site coordination with statutory and government authorities, appointed architects and owners representatives, as well as direct and indirect impact group, which need be taken care of free from time to time. Alright. Then organization leader makes sure that there should be no delay on conducting work supervision and work deliveries. Schedule which works if delayed shall mar site prosecution badly and impose on consequential delays on project completion, leading to imposing contract provided penalty or LD clause based liquid damages as well as limiting damages. Capping penalty is a criminal procedure. Penalty is a criminal procedure term, yet on many projects contract documents this term is seen from different perspective. Organization considers that every contract per project should provide at least a minimum percentage of profit for covering business growth requirements and also to induct input for future progression job in various directions. Then organization does not believe in considerable losses to be recovered on project. Organization does not believe in considerable losses to be received on this project. Means we don't want losses simply. Being a contracting organization, we contemplate at least a minimum or calculated profit in a given defined time on project. And we are a responsible management having a consistent and competent leadership who intends to provide them a good expected profit, if not enormous, so that it starts. We remain important competitive. Our past history is an attractive one to an extent. Percentage of profit is related to as well as percentage of its growth is related to. We intend to integrate on existing list of stakeholders many top profile investors who could add more value and power to this organization so that value on our share continuously rises. Now, scope considered by organization. This was to forward about what actually we prefer. Now, this is regarding scope considered by organization. Our current scope is progressively and dynamically working business on RCC buildings. It is RCC. I'm giving us. I'm calling RCC buildings. If you devise something else, you can write that one. That's not a big issue. So our current scope is progressively and dynamically working business on RCC buildings construction contracts in this nation, but this is not a limited constraint. Meanwhile, management leaders do have opinion to enter EPC, EPIC contracting in coming 5 years. Okay. Then meanwhile, management leaders do have opinion to enter EPC, EPIC contracting in coming 5 years target period. Our research team remains partly busy on charting out its strategy how to accede to field related to EPC. Bidding across this or various other economies. Economics means nation. We have worked overtimes for initiating such an approach so that we may consider contracting many potential EPC organizations. We either with them, that means it says EPC organizations for be either with them or with them as JV partners, or they award us respective civil works on EPC ongoing contracts for which we have adequate potential to deliver requirements owned by EPC operation. Let me repeat this. We have worked overtimes. We have worked overtimes for initiating such an approach so that we may consider contacting many potential EPC organizations, be either with them as JVC parties or they award to us respective civil works on EPC. Outgoing contract be either with them as JV partner or they award us respective civil works on EPC ongoing contracts for which we have adequate potential to deliver requirements on by EPC operations. To effect entry of entry to EPC, to effect entry to EPC, organization often chart out its strategy with international leading EPC organizations to compete on civil works, subcontracts, so that we earn return and form of relative experience, means we get something like that. We earn relative experience which may help us work with them in future. Organization also tries continuously to enter into professional alliance. Organization also tries continuously to enter into professional alliance with electromechanical contracting organizations so as to have their support for our packages, RCC building contracts, bids for which we intend to chart out pre-bid alliances virtually for submitting competitive bids and constitute with them future partnership for other projects. I'll repeat this one. Organization also tries continuously to enter into professional alliance with electromechanical contracting organizations so as to have their support for our package RCC building contracts bids for which we intend to chart out pre-bid alliance virtually for submitting competitive bids and constitute with them future partnership for either other projects. You know what this means? Means sometimes what happens, we have organization of civil, we don't have services crew with us, and we are dependent on other companies. So what we do, we just make alliance with certain company, big or small, which we think that can go give product through our, you can say, this using this subcontractors or use this alliance. We make them, okay, you become our part, we work as, you can say, internal joint venture or declared joint venture, so that we work together. They become our support, electrical, mechanical, so all that means mechanical, electrical, IT, whatever you get, you keep parties together with you for representation, so that they are also represented there. Otherwise you have to accept them only as subcontractor, you can say. So this is not only for submitting bids, but its requirement means you need those people. They will give you price. This is our price, so you have to add your element or leave it as it is, and you add their price, and later on you can ask discount from your subcontractors or from your partners. That is between you and them. But role is there, because you have to take package of building contract. They are not getting package by civil work or everything they have. drilled in that. Yes, then we go on. I'll explain this later on. Then organization also continuously tries to find junior partners to deal with non-structural items who may extend to its respective affordable assistance to help us win competitive best price. What says that? We are trying to find junior partners to deal with on non-structural items. This means finishing items or other items who may extend to our respective affordable assistance to help us win the competitive based bids. You want competitive base, you can get bid. If you don't give competitive base, you have 43 there, you will be suffering. We'll go next one, and this our organization has diverse on such business. It says our organization has divisions such as business division, development, estimation and tendering, in-house designs, planning and scheduling, marketing or purchasing, construction, safety, quality, safety and well, our organization has divisions such as business development, estimation and tendering, in-house designs, planning and scheduling, marketing or purchasing, construction, safety, health and environment, quality system, administration. So when we are talking of so many disciplines, it can't be a small group, never. Because we are talking of many subcontractors and so it's all that we are doing all this together means develop, estimate, tendering, house designs, in-house planning and scheduling, marketing or purchasing, construction, safety, health and environment, quality system. You may delete some of them if you don't like them, and administration as well. Then during bidding process. During bidding processes, organizations appoints and declares one coordination manager to work out each bid in details with support, survey, alright, a little drowsiness. During bidding process, organization appoints and declares one coordination manager. That is very important. During bidding itself. During bidding process, organization appoints and declares one coordination manager to work out each bid in details with support of estimation division, who could probably be later appointed as project manager of this project. With this project manager is dedicated to be responsible for all outcome of bid from inception of bid charter to project deliveries. Let's say whole bid is worked out under project manager's direct control, who after finalizing final price confidentially confers with countries with broad and honor, who may vary worked price. All divisions provide worked All divisions provide worked out support to project managers technically, commercially, and professionally in all regards, which details are inserted within relevant portions of bid package documents. Now, significant parts of bid may be contract form. Contract form, which is very important one, which gives price, fixed price, you can say lump sum fixed price. Significant parts of bid may be contract form, details relevant to bidder, staffing level, materials proposals or proposed, subcontractors proposed schedule with histograms, escrow separate rates for each item included. Alright, now go to another one. This is, let me repeat that, because contract form, detail relevant to bidder, staffing levels, materials proposed, subcontractors proposed, schedule and histograms, escrow, separate rates for each item included, detailed bid of quantities, the bill of quantities BOQ with price worked out, execution method statement giving prime methods that organization intend to run project construction under that deal. These are all parts and documents that are submitted with you can say commercial bid as well as technical bid, as I explained before. Commercial and technical bids are submitted separately, sometimes together, but both are must, because once you have to tell that person engineer that you must know what is this, and you can know only after that. And you can say here we said bills of quantities with price worked out, execution method statement giving prime methods, or of that organization intends to run project construction under that detail. Well, actually that detail is, you may say, that you are thinking about thinking about means for example method statements. For example, you have to tell execution statement as well as how shall you execute this job. You got my point. As I said, contact form is there, let's fix one. Then you can say with the details of you. Then staffing levels, what sort of organization chart you have, how many people will be there, and key personnel and non-key personnel and workers, means complete details it involves. And then you can say then materials which you are going to use and subcontractors are going to employ it, then with histograms of course, and escrow separate rates for each item. Yes, today what's rate in the market, and you have to think, otherwise tomorrow when you are not in market or not in say office, what fare you should have. Wait a minute. Then you go to bill of quantities, which are of course indicative ones, not fixed one. Then on lump sum fixed prices, bills of quantities only directive one, only guide with price worked out, and execution method statements group prime method that organization is to survey. Alright. Then we go to next one, and that is organization also includes safety plan, quality plan. Now these are actually maybe not clear to our people. These are very important management documents. Safety and quality are most important with bid documents to make its concept clear in all respects. Pertinent capacity. Okay. So safety and quality plan with bid documents to make its concept clear in all respects. Pertinent, pertinent capacity of organization in dealing with project demands professionally. Organization also intends to work out an alternative bid so as to provide a value added service to honor. Okay, first we discuss original bid. Alternative bid is also important. Sometimes it's demanded as well, and if it's not demanded, you can give yourself. If you are so smart enough, you are so competent enough that you can propose some design as well as cost of bid with details. Means it's not game, it's not play, it's hard work. So we have to first take up well documents such as safety plan and quality plan. These two documents, if you are not ready with, if you are not ready as your company or as a project manager, you have to convince that party that you are having your operating reliable safety of all, safety for all, and as well quality. You understand what is quality, how it is implemented. If system you understand, maybe you know very well by now, but I cannot say that you know about this. Safety plan and quality plan are both technical documents, protective and preventive documents. Safety plan keeps your people safe if you implement it, keeps your made structure safe, performance only during safety period. Then quality says what you are going to do according to specifications, how you are going to do it, and how you are going to monitor it per level of your own. You have to do your own, then other person would do this quality guy, and then third party or consultant itself would do at random. So these are very permanent capacity documents, pertinent you can say, related documents which can improve standards and efficiency of your working in company. An organization also intends to work out an alternative bid that I told you. It's big job. If you can do it or leave it. And if they demand, then you have to do it. You have to do it because you want to give them something value added. Means either you want to give them cost saving, or you are going to give them time saving, or you are going to give them better technology than what they expected. If this you can give, better technology means related to durability also. If they want something to work for 20 years and just no, we will give you certain design which shall work for 30 years, that way you have to give them what is planned. Then alternative bid, I told you, you have to rush such a lot on that. You cannot give same bid as alternative bid, but you have to do research on that and at least give indicative plan parallel to original one, which convinces something else. A final worked out price, then you have to insert on bid confidentially in form and bid submitted with relevant authority of department or with private owner as case could be. According to bid documents, bid bond requirement, big bond or tender bond, demanded tender bond is also provided, which remains in force until performance bond is. According to bid bond requirement, the demanded tender bond is also provided, which remains in force until performance bond is provided for bidder losses bid job. You got it? Until your bid is not decided, it's not agreed, your bid bond is binding you. You are bound by that. If you lose your job, you don't get your tender, you can say this is then effectively signed in. For all significant bids involving considerable quantities of materials to be used on permanent basis, more than 3 or at least 3 quotations are indeed this very common, from which rates, items, prices are worked out. And it's not rates only, you have to ensure status of that vendor who is quoting to you. Or it's not a punch shop, it's a clothes shop, it's a chai shop. That should be clearly done. And you can say, out of these quotations, you may not simply say I have a quotation 3 or 4. These should be reliable, trustworthy bodies or parties in your body. All quotations from vendors are recorded for, or say, all quotations from vendors are recorded for future references with respective validity extended in case bid award is delayed by honor. So far, we are limited to doing all civil works by our workforce, whereas other items are subcontracted to professional vendors officially with formal approval form. Okay, so far we are limited to doing all civil works by our workforce, whereas other items are subcontracted to professional vendors officially with formal approval from honor. From honor engineer. Organization is very keen to further organize its potential to make its professional for various other items for which our team has been working, so that as many items we could carry out ourselves. Means you have to make yourself independent if you can. You can train your people and let them learn something which they did not learn. But that can be applied to items covered by you. If you are not interested to cover yourself, you can leave it or do it. It's up to you, your confidence. I'm just telling that. All our related personnel and managers well know areas where we are main contractors. When contractors are considered experts, all our related personnel and managers well know areas where we are main contractor are considered experts. Organization got many sister concerns working on many items, which we make use of their standard and potential as part and parcel on all such projects. This was clause 4, text of organization. This text I just explained to you. which is very important from definition viewpoint of this NSL, means we have to define our organization to convince that we are something. This is a text, and this is not simply at certain definite time. This is routine text for common days, for common working. We have to explain to world, or we can say we are selling ourselves for business. Of course, it takes something. Let me see, it's time, it's now, so at 15-20 minutes more, I think. Let's see how much we can cover. It can be covered now. Let's see. I think I'll leave it here. So we have to make sure that we are saleable. We sell ourselves. This is English word. I do not like it, but this is professional word also, that we can sell our services. This is what we are selling. And then we go to clause 5 of this Annex SL, RCC Buildings Construction General, and that's leadership. Leadership. Leadership and commitment. It's enclosed in this descriptive column. Leadership and commitment, and then policy, and then organizational roles, responsibilities, and authorities. Means considerations are, points for considerations are: emphasis on leadership. Emphasis on leadership. Not just top management, but leadership is responsible for and accountable. Leader is accountable. All leaders actually. Top management has greater accountability and involvement in organizational management system. So this leadership has been added actually to 2015 annex. Previously it was little low profile defined. Now it is a high profile definition, that leadership has to involve with prime working of this annexure. So emphasis on leadership, not all leadership is very responsible in this case, and accountable as well. Cannot escape that, okay, go and check quality engineer, I'm not responsible. You cannot say that. Go and check delay of material, I did not place order, and still you are lying that you are. All that must take care of this. Let's just say top management has greater accountability and involvement in organizational matters or management systems. Yes, that is true. Top management has to care about what happens actually. People say generally, I sent this requisition, they are not approving, I required those so many items, they are sanctioning only 50% or 40%, or they don't give money. I want something, they don't give money, I cannot go to money. What's the use of going to money if you don't have money? So it happens. Alright, now next one in the same leadership is integrate requirement of management system. Integrate requirement of management system into organization's core business process. Integrate requirement of management system into organization core business process. Ensure that management system allocates necessary resources. Ensure management system achieves business intended outcome. Business indicative outcome. Then top management responsible to communicate importance of management system. Right. Now come on to its definition. I am saying this is class 5. Now in an Excel same template, leaders enjoy trust of top management or organizations. That you have to claim. Leaders enjoy trust of top management and organizations means all leaders of departments, safety department, quality department, construction department, or whatever else is there. They enjoy trust of top management and organization. ISO 9001-2015 has extended greater responsibility and accountability to leaders who have in fact been virtually elevated to share quality system in all respects. Since leaders cannot locate themselves, leaders cannot locate themselves to footboard of seniors, managers only, leaving entire responsibilities to quality agent or quality representative of organization. Alright, then we say it says that again I speak because this is a little complex here. Extended greater responsibility and accountability to leaders who have in fact been virtually elevated to share quality system in all respects, since leaders cannot locate themselves to footboard of senior manager only, leaving entire responsibility to quality agent or quality representative of organization. Well, in 2008 what used to happen, this guy is quality guy and this guy is construction guy, and okay, he is taking responsibility, he is fighting on site and he is responding to concern. But if there's a mistake, who was responsible? This guy fired. Now they have just procured, they have imported leader at top to share that responsibility as well. You cannot say I am MD, I am not responsible. You cannot say I am chief engineer, I am not responsible. You are also responsible because you are required to provide resources, you are required to provide supports of documents, you are required to provide each and every activity support onto site. Only then people can work. Your quality engineer cannot work if you are not supporting him. It applies to everybody. That is why it's a bad one. They say this law is bad one, this international position is bad one. Why should I this one? But they are. If you want certification to continue, if you want registration as with this agent of ISO 9000 continue. Why I am saying agents? Because ISO 9001 or ISO has no policy to register any organization. All advertisements are illegal. ISO 9000 does not register anybody. They are registered agents, they are recruited agents, approved agents. They register your certification. So I am just reminding that. What it says that entire responsibility cannot be left to only junior people. In fact, quality representative term has been eliminated from purview of quality system. Then now leaders are virtually designated honors to effectively manage quality system in all organizations, which means that every senior manager or system designated leader has to work in collaboration with all middle and lower management personnel for accommodability towards quality system performance. This means leaders must apply additional efforts by stretching working hours if processes are not carried out during formal normal working hours. Quality divisions shall be required for defined purpose as all other divisions only divisions all other divisions only, and then shall carry out respective works allocations in routine briefing, apprising leads of whatever achievement or work status. This means that status and responsibility described on leaders and quality personnel have drastically been altered under ISO 9001-2015 to an extent that leaders cannot escape, lead to an extent that lead accountability means you cannot escape accountability. That says earlier when some account or incompetency or non-compliance is reported, means leader is also responsible. Accountable. I'll go then. Let's make 5 minutes more. Then I can say all divisions partners are heads and leaders to their respective sections, such as designs, estimation, planning, purchasing, safety, quality, controls, engineering, services, contract valuation, and approvals. Okay, then we go further on to this policy decision as a policy devised by top management and leaders is that site work should be done right first time, every time, avoiding reworks to a maximum extent possible. This is a prime management statement by professional companies, and that is policy devised by top management, which says leader is that work, leader is that site work should be done, means whatever you do on site, do it first time every time, right first time every time. Meaning if you do something, do it if you know it how to do it. If you don't know it, first learn it and then do it. Otherwise you are just wasting materials and money. This means a lot. Right time, first time, only experienced person can do. You cannot say that a new one coming in doesn't know job and he will do first time right. No, learning is not first time right. A person who's professional, who is experienced can do right first time. That principle saves money, saves material, saves time. And if you take experiment, oh, 3 times I made mistake, 4 times I did right, that is not going to speak. We say this policy is very good, management policy, just like we say right man for right job. So do right first time every time. This is policy for those people who believe in fittest of fittest, best of best. This is, you can say, something against socialism, a kind of that. Socialism is little flexible, and this is professionalism. There is something else, no errors means zero tolerance in errors. Quality is a must. If no work, no payment, and if work, full payment. It's like that, and that is in fact very good for engineering. We are not dealing here, we are dealing with work. We are spending money on material, on human resources, on machines, on natural resources, on efforts of people, and on time. Because there is investment. It cannot go waste. If your material is wasted, your human being, everything you are wasting. Site work should be allotted to right competent person only. And if right person is not available, for certain specific job. Either training should be conducted or given to personnel involved, or work should be outsourced officially in form of subcontract. Outsourcing for subcontract. So this is legal. It says you procure people for work. If you don't have that, that is what required. And do not give site work to those who are not competent. It's up to you. Then work should be effected error or defect free in scheduled time with required degree of competency and accountable compliance. And required attempt has to be made to do all works error free or defect free to a maximum extent feasible. Organization has devised various levels of positions such as top management, middle level, seniors, and detailed managing levels. Top management contributors are leaders in themselves to direct self and guide all others located on site and off site. They require to provide vision to site organizations. They require to keep all personnel all times motivated so that continuity of personnel and good practice work is maintained on site with smooth motion of operations to achieve all milestones. Leaders need ensure that policy of organization is always effective and consistently its objectives are achieved in all cases. They need not involve directly with details, but involved with by surveillance of all works of execution, prosecution, and wherever and whenever they should extend support to required personnel as and when lack on promptness progress is visible. Lack on promptness progress is visible. They need make sure that human and other resources required to meet site working operations are available all times as and when necessary, either directly or through subcontractor as case may be. They need make sure that contractors mobilized all resources requirements in line to contract and project schedule. They need ensure that all contractors personnel at all levels know about respective job. That is must know about respective job activities when which must be presented. They need ensure that all contractors personnel at all levels know about respective job activities which must be presented, produced in descriptive writing, and be updated from time to time depending on newer projects or GN. Projects or newer projects are due to added responsibility. Leaders have to, in all cases, all time, ensure that device management system is well monitored. Means whatever system you designed or devised, you can call it, reviewed, evaluated, and necessary improvement is inducted as and when necessary or required. They need ensure that all necessary information regarding system management is communicated to all personnel as and when necessary. Such communication making is essential. Leaders need ensure that all clients or respective owners are well aware that organization has been complying with newer requirements and duly updated so that it be easier to participate in newer bids to manage building works. Construction management requires to conduct schedule audit on contract progress to an extent contractor site organization is concerned. Construction management ensures that monthly or scheduled payment is raised in form of valuation system or statement by contractor in processing in process when due and after is evaluation. Construction management ensures that monthly or scheduled payment is raised in form of valuation statement by contractor in process when due and after its evaluation and scrutiny by engineer. Approved payment certificates are received from owner engineer. Construction management makes sure to submit all report to leaders in its corporate or head office whenever due so that real achievement or status of contract remains known to them and information circulated to designated by personnel. All such significant projects status reporting. So let me see how much we have reached. This is actually we have taken a class 5. Class 5 I have generally taken a class 5, and this is actually about how to monitor system. Class 6, class 7, class 8, 9, 10 are remaining on this SL, which are of course very important, but constraint is time, and I don't want to take more, but this is very important. This SL, if we use this in our proposals, or we move like this, means we can use this power at international level documented by ISO 9000 organization. This applies to whole world actually, and still people are not, many of them are not clear, some are there. Though I cannot say that is a perfect one, but it's a better one, that you define yourself how do you want to work in this world. And this is, you can even eat it without any problem. Whatever is there, just think of that. See, they may also make some errors, but question is, something is better if we don't have any such documentation format. Better to use some other format. And this, when you deal with, you can say FedEx, it would give you something. Construction projects are very big always, and there are always very senior staff available everywhere. And I know that in international companies, people are good or bad both types. Those who are having field experience, they they can make themselves very good communicator, very good engineers, and all that. But that must be clearly understood. Now I am closing down at this point today, and will take up revision up to class 5 and class 6 next one. Next time, by the thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll take your leave and I'll meet again. Thanks to all the attendants. Those who are attending this, thank you very much, and who read this, thank you very much. Bye bye. I close this one.